Today in the crypto space, we see the market still kind of going sideways. Bitcoin at 34,400, give or take, and Ethereum right around that $1,800 mark. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, are pretty much mix of green and red throughout the market. Toncoin doing pretty good today, up approximately 6%. Rollbit, Rune, and a few more. However, there are some dips. Take a look at Render, The Graph, Axie Infinity, Mina Protocol, and a few others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one large layer one altcoin that could be looking for another pop to the upside, and that project is called Fantom. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comments section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. But better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. A lot of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, learning material, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's begin looking at this general market. Obviously, today's video is all about Fantom, but there's a couple of things that we need to do. Let's look at this general market first to see what has been happening in the last little while. We'll take a look at Bitcoin as a leading indicator. What could be happening with Bitcoin? If Bitcoin does roll over, maybe we might get some fire sales. If Bitcoin gets a pop to the upside, maybe we will be able to take a bit more profits on some of those good gainers that we've been having in the last little while. All right, let's begin. Let's take a look at the general market first. Bitcoin kind of going sideways. Ethereum also. We have XRP, man of the match for today, definitely doing very well, up 4.5%, give or take. But big picture, it's still not that great. Let's be real. We have Solana doing another 4% to the upside. That's pretty good. Of course, Solana coming out of the woodworks, definitely the underdog, making a bit of a progress here, is pretty healthy. Toncoin 5%, and we have a few others, but kind of going sideways, a few dips, 2% Shiba Inu, give or take, and Stellar grinding up. But you can see, generally speaking, in the last 24 hours, there's not much happening. Let's be real here. Aptos 3%, nothing crazy. We have a bit of a dip here on Lido, nothing crazy as well. VeChain, back at the bottom of the range, nothing really that crazy. Double top-ish. You can see the market's a bit double top-ish type of thing, maybe rolling over just a little bit, or the beginning of a potential rollover could be around the corner. Caspa down approximately 2%, getting a bit of a rejection at the previous high type of scenario, or even better, at the break of a potential higher high. For me, that is very important. Maybe a bit of a pullback, maybe a continuation, but nonetheless down approximately 2%, and Render down approximately 6%, getting a fat rejection at its previous high. So for me, guys, the general market right now, there are a few dips, there's a few rallies. Thorchain still looking really good. However, guys, be prepared. Be prepared for pullbacks. 35% in the last 7 days, 6% for today. Thorchain is on fire. Take some profit, guys. Protect those gains at all costs. Protect the gains, right? Algorand, kind of going sideways after a nice pop to the upside. Maybe a pullback before a continuation. What else do we have? XDC looking pretty good, 6%. Axie Infinity down 6%. As you can see, the market is very indecisive. There's a few dips, there's a few rallies here and there. Mina Protocol down 6%. Decentralized down a little bit after a bit of a pop, nothing crazy. Gala coming down 5%. You can see the overall sentiment right now is pretty 50-50. We got some good rallies, some good retracements, and some sideways price action in the middle. Guys, that's all it is, really. Look at DYDX down approximately 6% as well. So this is the name of the game here, guys. We're in chop zone. We got a few pops. If you're in the right altcoins, you could definitely benefit from the rallies. If you are, with cash on the side, ready to buy some dips, we definitely are seeing a bit of a pullback. But I don't think that the general market has already made a decision, and it's all based on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin hasn't made a decision. People right now are very hesitant. We have the FOMC meeting around the corner. We have Bitcoin potentially squeezing, looking for an expansion phase. And this is the question: where is Bitcoin going to go in the immediate short term, and where where's the market sentiment going to be at after the meeting when we figure out what's going on with our, a traditional macroeconomic scenario. All right, let's begin. I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin looking at Bitcoin. What's going on here with BTC? Not much. Still going sideways here on the daily time frame. Now, I'm expecting a bit of consolidation, obviously, in the next little while, or a continuation of this consolidation. But the daily right now is definitely overbought. We see that the MACD looking like it wants to kind of roll over. It could happen, but we got to anticipate both the bullish and the bearish scenario. And here on the channel, that's what we'll be focusing on. I think it's a bit early to get absolutely bearish on the daily, but the 4 hour is showing us a bit of a signal to anticipate. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail, and then we'll take a look at Fantom. Hopefully we can use Bitcoin as an indication, right? As an indicator. Like at the end of the day, if Bitcoin does come down, we're going to see Fantom come down, and we might be able to buy the dip on Fantom, although Fantom currently is at a good level to watch out for accumulation. But if Bitcoin pops and continues showing a bit of strength in this market, we can definitely see some of the altcoins follow Bitcoin's lead, right? Ultimately seeing the money flow exit Bitcoin and start looking for projects that have yet to run up, and Fantom is definitely one of them. There's many, guys. There's many. And of course, if you want to discuss some of those altcoins, join me live tonight at 7:30. I'm hoping that I can be on time tonight. Of course, tonight is Halloween and things will be a bit hectic, but I'm going to try to make it for 7:30. If not, might be a bit late, but don't worry, I'll make it for a live stream for sure. But you can see that we are definitely looking for some support, or maybe a bit of a dip, right? So the daily is not giving me much of a signal. You got to admit, if we look at the RSI and we kind of take a look here, we can see that the momentum's pretty much stuck in overbought conditions, right? Hanging out here. It's a good signal if you're really bullish, because there's no real clear indication just yet that we're going to fall. We can get another pop to the upside and make a higher high even on the price action while still making a lower high on the RSI. And of course, if you following along with what I'm saying here, is that is a divergence, right? We could get a class A bearish divergence even on the daily. Now, of course, we can get into lower time frames. We can start looking at lower time frames to see if we get indications of a potential rollover. But right now, here on the daily, we could hang out here in overbought conditions for a while and see Bitcoin continue to the upside. The question is how much more can Bitcoin go without losing a bit of interest, in the sense that people looking at Bitcoin right now are going to start to look at it as a very risky scenario. Risky. Why? Because it already ran up significantly. Now, it's all about your time frame. Now, I'm not talking about long term. I'm not talking about year, 2 years. I'm not talking about bull run. I'm talking about short term daily 4-hour scenarios. Could we get a bit of a pullback, retesting the 32K, retesting the 25K? An absolute bearish price target for me was always that 20K level, which you never know, it could happen. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to. I'm not giving bearish sentiment here. What I am saying is ensure that you have capital on the side ready to go to deploy just in case that happens, because you never know what this market could give us. Okay, so it's about being responsible with your capital, number one, being prepared for all case scenarios just in case, and number two, taking profits to protect yourself, because as you see, Bitcoin is running up significantly while the rest of the altcoin market is pretty much hanging out. And if you look at the total three, altcoins have yet to catch up to Bitcoin. That means that it's profit-taking time for Bitcoin. People that are in Bitcoin are going to be looking to de-risk off of Bitcoin because it ran up pretty good, and they're going to start looking for other alternatives, looking for other assets that have yet to run up, and that's how you see the money flow. So the daily is not really giving us anything. So what are we going to do here? We're going to look in lower time frames. Again, overbought, a slight divergence, but nothing crazy. Okay, guys. So let's get into the lower time frames here for Bitcoin. You can see the story's a bit different, just a bit different. Okay, now we do see a sideways consolidation. I know that the bears and the bulls are going to have two interpretations. The bullish case is that this is a bull flag, and yes, we break the tops, higher highs, we're getting there, we're going to rock it, and we're potentially hit. For me, a nice measured move would be at about 36K, and to see if we hit that level, which is probably very confluent with a nice extension, 1.27 or something like that. Let's see, swing low to swing high, 1.27 extension, perfect, and the measured move would would be out of the break out of this channel, which would take you to the 1.27 as well. So a bit of confluence, maybe even the 1.618 could be there. Extension levels obviously are very useful, especially when you don't have much price action to kind of go by. And of course, we do have price action looking left, but I'm keeping it very tight here. I'm keeping it very tight given the fact that every impulsive move to the upside just increases the probability that we start rolling over. Why? Because we've already done a great job with this run from the bottom. Okay, so this is the thing. We've been running for a good while. We basically up almost 100% here, which is crazy to think about. A large asset like Bitcoin, large cap asset like Bitcoin running up the way it did. Now it's time to say, you know what? The reality is that the majority of the move is already in. So be careful here. Okay, so from a bullish perspective, yes, the trend is your friend. We could potentially get up higher. We can even get up to about 40K where we get real resistance. However, guys, we can't negate the fact that there's always two sides of the coin. And in this case, there's potential bearish scenario. The bearish scenario is that we break below this low. Breaking below this low brings you down to about 32K. Which is very confluent with the previous price action, which is the previous high. This could have been just a quick liquidity grab, you know, on larger time frames. Obviously, it doesn't look quick because here on the 4 hour, you know, we're consolidating. But if you zoom out and you get into larger time frames, this is going to look like a wick if it does pull back to the 32K level. Right? So what we really want to understand is what happened here is potentially a nice short squeeze that all the individuals that were going short here at the previous top, you know, got squeezed, and you know, we got some good manipulation in here where we got a huge buy orders in that got the price to the higher levels. Now we can see that the bearish divergence is still intact. We see higher highs on the RSI, higher highs on the price action. Higher highs on the price action, and at this level, you can see that the RSI was coming down. So lower highs on the RSI, higher highs on the price action right here, class A bearish divergence. And then as we keep on going forward, we see the momentum still coming down while the price action kind of goes sideways here, which again, class B bearish divergence on the sideways, if you want to consider it sideways, or else it is a confirmation high, a lower high, slightly lower high. So we can see that. We can see that things have been working out here. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen in the immediate short term. All I do know is that we got to exit this consolidation. We are currently potentially looking at a cup and a potential handle. We are looking at potential Adam and Eve pattern. Could potentially look at it as an Adam and Eve pattern reversal, like reversed upside down. If you think about it, Adam V reversal and then rounded top, that could come back down to the bottom range here at about 33,800 to break below. But the most important thing that I want to emphasize here is the volume gap below. There's a huge amount of weakness. If we do break below this level, which is again 33,700 give or take, you can see that the volume profile is giving you an indication that there's no supply and demand to actually act as support, given the price action prior was straight up, nice and green, right? No supply and demand in between to act as support if it does roll over. Now, as we come down, as we see the momentum slowly shift to this zone on the RSI, we are going to enter the chop zone, which we could go sideways for the next little while. But the question is, we're already kind of sideways. So what does that mean? Are we negating any bearishness here that could potentially be around the corner? And as of now, yes, we're seeing that the momentum is coming down while the price action is still going sideways. Do the bulls have enough to basically keep this price propped up the way it is while getting this momentum fully oversold, right, in oversold conditions, or at least give us a level of support here in the chop zone where we can get into a good risk to reward opportunity, set a stop loss, get in at the bottom of the range, and get another pop to the upside at this consolidation level that could be a bull flag. Okay, so these are the scenarios. If the bears get into the ball gets into the bearish court, we could see the price get down to about 32K. If we see a good level of bouncing here and sideways price action here on the 4 hour in the chop zone, we could potentially get into a smaller position, not so heavy, but a smaller position, and expect to get a nice bounce out of this level and then get a higher high. Or again, put that stop loss and prepare for a dip if this thing actually gets oversold here on the 4 hour. Oversold conditions would probably be seeing the RSI down to this level where it has been in the past, and that would be a great buy opportunity, of course. And the MACD is giving us a bit of a mixed signal every so often. EMAs are still facing down. We're still reddish on the histogram bars. However, a few fake outs here and there, a few jitters along the way is keeping everybody confused. Are we going to get a bullish bounce? Are we going to get a bullish recovery here, or are we going to finally just roll over and continue to the bearish control zone where we could see that bit of a dip and maybe get some good fire sales on those altcoins? All right, let's take a look at Fantom. Now that we understand what Bitcoin could be doing, Fantom, we can get a bit of clarity. Now, if you keep it on the same time frame here on the 4-hour, it's a very similar scenario here on Fantom. We have higher highs on the price action, very clear, and we have lower highs on the momentum, the RSI. And the MACD is giving us a similar signal. You can see that both the EMAs and the histogram bars are coming down while the price action is moving up. That is class A bearish divergence. Now, the question is, are we at good levels of horizontal resistance so that we can potentially get that rejection, get that rollover, get the back test, pick up some buy orders, and then get going, right? Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out, because that obviously the big picture is the most important. Where is Fantom coming from? That's important. Look at Fantom's history. Look at Fantom's current scenario. 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. Guys, I've been talking about a lot of the layer ones. A lot of projects are currently at this current scenario. In fact, a lot of them were desperately trying to hold up at previous lows, multiple touches at horizontal support. And this is where the risk to reward ratio is absolutely healthy. Getting in at this level ensures that you can put a stop loss nice and tight right below the lows as an invalidation, and you can get into a long position with very little risk in comparison to the actual reward. Keeping it very modest. Let's say that we accumulated at this level, okay? Look at this pop to the upside. Even just getting to previous highs, you're looking at about 247% pop to the upside, guys. Crazy potential gains here, and it has done it in the past. Who's to say that we can't go range bound and you can exit some of your position right here? Even taking your initial investment out will leave you still with 150% left into this move, right? So very lucrative, very profitable scenario. However, guys, here on the 4-day, of course, it looks nice zoomed out, beautiful scenario, bullish divergence right here, follow through, confirmation low, back test, all of the jargon that all the traders are looking for. Let's get on the daily. It's overbought, and the move wasn't even that strong to the upside. So this is something concerning to me. We really have to zoom in to actually see this move. Last time it got overbought, look at the impulsive move, huge move to the upside, right? Even here, like a bigger move to the upside. This move from overbought to oversold, oversold to overbought, it really didn't move the price action. So it doesn't really give me much confidence. Now, if we're going to look for resistance where we are now with this bearish divergence, we have the 200 daily EMA currently right now touching the price very close. We have previous highs. We have a very little on the volume profile, not much giving us any signals. I like to see volume gaps, guys. Unfortunately, there is no volume gap to give us that signal, so we're gonna have to run with what we have, which currently again is the 200 daily EMA. We have a few tops and few bottoms, really with not much real clarity. A bit of a point of control here with a huge amount of supply and demand to watch out for. Look at this red line here that you can see. Gives us a bit of an indication that it could be resistance or even support if we are able to break out and backtest. For me, that's what I would be looking for if I were to go long currently at the moment, because the daily is really overbought, and we're seeing signs of divergences on the 4-day. We're seeing divergences potentially even on the 4-hour. The daily is not really giving us too much. If you look at the daily momentum, the RSI, it's still slightly upward sloping. Okay, this line was from the 4-day. Okay, it's still a slightly upward sloping. Let's move this aside. Still upward sloping. So what that means that the price action and the momentum are in, basically agreement. And we do see that the MACD, the EMAs are still facing up, green histogram bars to the upside. However, we could consider this a bit top looking, right? A bit high, double top, a bit rounded over, ready to roll over type of thing. But it could fake us out again, because it has done it in the past and it does it frequently. Unless we get that nice EMA cross to the downside with at least one red histogram bar, I'm still skeptical. So I'm keeping an eye on that. But you can see what's really happening here is that the price right now is hitting a bit of a wall on the short term, a short-term wall. Now, ultimately, big picture, again, you want to scale in. I would be scaling in on any dips at this moment. If we do get a retracement based on what's happening here on the 4-day and this potential divergence that's happening, because the MACD looks like it's producing a class B bearish divergence. And to be honest, the price action is going a bit too strong in comparison to the momentum on the RSI, however, not showing any divergence. I'm still skeptical. The 200 daily being there is also an interesting aspect. Now, we can see that the divergence on the 4-hour is clear. Very clear. Very clear, almost as clear as the 4-day. Be honest, like, look at this. you know, whoa, what did I do? Let's get back here. I did something. All right, so I kind of rearranged it here, but no big deal. If you look at the MACD, let's bring this down. Sorry guys, you can see that at this level we are basically coming down. The momentum is coming down, so is the RSI momentum, and so is the MACD, and you see the price action still moving up. So we're getting divergence on the 4-hour, not so much on the daily, but also on the 4-day. So there's a bit of confluence here to suggest, look, be prepared. We got the top of the volume gap. It's not a big one, of course, a bit of jitters around these the volume profile, few jitters in and out, but we could get a bit of resistance in the immediate short term to see Fantom come down and be able to buy the dip. And one thing that I really want to stress is not all altcoins are going to get their opportunity. Okay, I know a lot of people right now are saying, you know, altcoins are going to get, you know, an altcoin season, and we're potentially already in somewhat of an altcoin season, or the beginning of one, where we're seeing altcoins pop one by one. But Bitcoin is still holding up. Bitcoin is still, you know, going sideways, still showing a bit of strength in its Bitcoin dominance. Yes, there's a bit of a pullback, but I still feel that if we do not see all the altcoins get their opportunity, you better be careful, because they could come down. And especially if Bitcoin takes that dip, we will be given an opportunity once again to scale in. If you've been on the sidelines, like I know a lot of people are on the sidelines right now, ready to deploy, this is the opportunity. These are the opportunities that you're looking for. Signs of divergence, signs of resistance, potential pullbacks that you got to be ready to go and deploy. All right, guys, if I have offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap that like button. And of course, guys, I'm going to be live today. I might be a bit late because of Halloween, but I'm going to be live, so stay tuned. I'm going to post a message on Twitter, and if you want to follow me on Twitter or any other socials, the links are in the description. Feel free to join that Discord, guys. It's a great community, lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and all that good stuff. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.